Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome to In the Headlines, where we will shortly be discussing the true central papers of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, namely Al-Hakam and Al-Fazl. Joining me in the studio to discuss this is, of course, Farooq Raheel Sahib, who is the assistant editor of Al-Fazl International, and Qasid Moeen Ahmed Sahib, who is the editor of Al-Hakam. So if we look at the Al-Hakam paper first, we look at the headlines, and it's talking about a very historic day in the history of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. It's talking about Darul Qaza, which is, of course, when we think about the word Darul Qaza, it reminds us of things like matrimonial issues and issues that people face in their day-to-day lives. So I think it's really important that we have the words of wisdom and advice of His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, on this topic. And of course, I'm guessing this is why you've included it in the main paper?
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing 100 years of so many events now by the grace and blessings of Allah Jamaat. It's so, it's matured to a level where we're seeing 100 years of many events, and this is just being one of them. Obviously, this, which is the Ahmadiyya Board of Arbitration, saw its 100 years, and in this we saw Hazur explain the essence behind this, the wisdom behind this, and the fundamental principle that Hazur explained was that justice is to be established in all areas of, specifically when you're talking about the arbitration council, the Qaza, Ahmadiyya Qaza, justice is what is required, and all the adjudicators who are members of this council, they have to adhere to justice. And he said that a firm connection with God Almighty is necessary to perform this duty at its utmost.
Absolutely. So it's really interesting to read into this for everybody, because it's obviously affecting everybody in our homes and our day-to-day lives as well. Farooq Saab, of course, Al-Hakam always features This Week in History, a lot of interesting things happening all over the year in the history of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. What do we have this week that's happening?
So some of the events happening this week is, for example, the Promised Messiah, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, expressed his intention to write a commentary on the Gospel of Matthew, which is the first book of the New Testament, and an announcement regarding this was also published in Ziaul Islam Press, Qadian. This happened on the 26th of January 1896. Then we see that in the time of the second Caliph, Hazrat Muslim Maud Raziyallahu Anhu, on 26th of January, a new calendar was published in Al-Fazl, first time in Al-Fazl, which is the Solar Hijri calendar, and is it starts off with the migration of the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and then each and every month covers a historic event during the lifetime of the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So this was published on the 26th January on 1940.
Really interesting. I mean, we're talking about so many historic events. We've spoken about Darul Qaza, This Week in History, and we're looking at Al-Fazl now. And of course, this is also talking about a very historic moment. Again, Al-Islam had the opportunity to have an audience with His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper. What happened there? What is this talking about?
So Hazrat Khalifatul Masih the Fifth, may Allah be strengthen his hands, he launched the Al-Islam Urdu website on the 13th of January this year, and this new website is a newly designed website in Urdu Nastaliq font, which is a very beautiful font of Urdu, and this website is also designed for every platform we use, tablet, mobile. And one of the blessings, this is one of the blessings of the Promised Messiah Islam, that the interest towards the Urdu language is increasing day by day. People around the world are trying to learn the Urdu language to benefit from the original text of the writings of the Promised Messiah Islam.
And Al-Islam obviously being the central, the main website of the Jamaat, it's representative of the Jamaat. It just goes to show that, there is progress in every area of every department of the Jamaat, and this is just one of those signs. One thing I just want to quickly squeeze in, I know we're very short for time. In Al-Hakam, I would encourage the readers to read the 100 years ago, specifically this week and the last week one, because these are two parts about Hazrat Mufti Muhammad Sadiq Saab's efforts in Tabligh when he was here 100 years ago in the UK, and I would encourage readers to go back. It's very inspirational how much difficulty he faced, but at the same time he was so passionate. The passion is truly one thing to look out for when you're reading Mufti Saab's, and obviously the early companions at that time. and the early pioneers of the Jamaat.
So of course, and we have the sermon of His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, in both papers, of course, again talking about the inspirational companions, and again you just highlighted one such companion of the promised Messiah, on whom be peace as well. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for, but of course you can always check out these papers online. For Al-Hakam, it's alhakam.org, and for Al-Fazl, it's alfazl.org. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.